where your weaknesses are is where you're going to get the biggest ROI, the biggest return on your investment.
Yeah.
Like I was saying with meditation, if it's hard for you because there's a lot of pinball machines going off and a lot of monkeys jumping on the bed, that's for you. You need it more then. Therefore, the more obstacles, the more adversity.
So you're saying if I can't touch my toes, I should focus on...
You should just quit and fucking cut your toes off?
Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. That's just not for me, touch my toes.
So if you're sitting there and you're trying to focus on one thing and breathe through your nose and meditate, and there's a lot of different random thoughts going on, that's what you need to work on.
Yeah,
that's a fucking good thing. You found gold there. There's going to be a bigger win because there's a bigger obstacle. So it's the same thing if you're a skinny guy trying to build muscle or a fat guy or girl trying to lose weight. There's bigger wins there.
Yeah.
Because there's more fear, there's more learning curve, there's more adversity. So that's where the challenge is. That's where you got to go. That's where the fucking gold is. That's where the work is. Go for it.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek.
Boom.
Joseph Campbell.
Welcome to the Bridge Podcast. Sean Nixon here.
John Matthew.
How are you feeling today, man?
Things are good. Things are always good.
Things are always good. That's the thing. Once you know the game and you choose whether it's good or not, then you're a winner.
If it's bad, you just gotta let it go.
You can let it go, but so many people are like, oh.
It's kind of like you're like a piece of gum, like on the floor or a couch. Like you pick shit up super easily, and like doing the work is like taking out like a piece of hair from a gum. That's a lot of work, but if you do it, you can get a piece of gum back.
It's a nice piece of gum. You can keep chewing.
It's a bad metaphor, but
keep on chewing.
Keep on chewing.
So we are here on maybe day 2 of the programming series.
Day 2.
You're setting up your training programming. So what we're going to do is go over old goals, goals that we have set and accomplished in history, and goals that we're currently working on, and maybe like how and why
we're doing what we're about to do.
We're doing what we're about to do, and how and why the seasons of life and different goals, dreams, and desires change.
Yeah.
So that you're not aimlessly doing nothing, and you're also not program hopping fucking ADD.
Yeah, I've been there too. Yeah.
Right, because we've all done it. Oh, I'm stagnant. I've been doing the same shit for fucking 2 years or whatever the fuck. Or every fucking 3 days you're doing some other shit.
Yeah.
Or going off the program or whatever, and there's reasons for all those things. So you want to start with the first time you ever even thought about a fitness goal and take us through like up until now, and then goals that you have currently?
Yeah. Sure. The year was 1994, January 6th, during a blizzard. No, I'm just kidding. But I was born during 7/11 actually.
Oh.
So first time I ever got the sense of any kind of fitness, because everyone has gym class. Not anymore, but back when I was a kid, everybody had gym class. Now it's a myth. It's a legend. It's a legend.
We used to be able to go outside and play with each other.
Yeah, gym now is just Candy Crush essentially. I think it's on iPad. I don't want to go outside. I've had a kid. I've had a kid tell me 10 years. I think he was 10 or 9 at the time I was working with him. That and this was during the summer, like peak summer 2 years ago. It was so nice out. It was like a really nice summer too. He's like, all I want to do is just play video games. Like if I could, like the dream would be to take my bed outside, bring my laptop, bring my computer, bring my video games outside, and just play video games outside
for fresh air and sunshine. So he's not opposed to
my bed. Yeah,
fresh air and sunshine. He just doesn't want to put the game down.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I thought it was hilarious.
So if he had one of those walking treadmill things and he was outside,
yeah, maybe.
Because once again, if that's your passion and your purpose, and you're a professional gamer, and
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, if that is what you are,
that's once again. I'm not trying to shatter anybody's dreams, but that's a small percentage of
very small percentage, and those people will always benefit from being outside. For one,
I've trained a lot of gamers. I tell them lifting is the best hobby you can have because you only need a fucking hour. Like, you don't want to put the sticks down for fucking 1 hour and get better mental acuity and sharpness and get your fucking physique so you can start slamming some of these purple, blue-haired fucking gamer chicks? Bro, I'm not fucking even kidding. You know how many hot fucking gamer chicks there is? And they're not fucking going after you. Yeah. They're banging some bodybuilder guy that doesn't even fucking play video games. Yeah, exactly. Right. But you're fucking paying her fucking $20 a month to fucking see her with her headphones on. Whatever. The point is, you're not gonna get worse at video games. You're gonna get better.
Yeah,
and your health is going to get better, and then you go back and pick up the sticks.
Yeah, that's why these things can, like, this health is only applicable, whether it's a physique goal or not, but just, you know, performance goal or not. Health will impact every single part of your life, you know, so. But for me, it was when, so I started getting, like, I think I'd done, like, Taekwondo when I was in 2nd grade.
Cool.
Did it for a very little bit. You know, you're at a, what they call, like, belt factories where it's just kind of like going through the system. Like, how can an 8-year-old have a black belt?
Every week you got 3 stripes, right?
Yeah, it's not the same black belt as a, you know, Shaolin master and, you know, Tibet. Shouldn't be, exactly. So when I started training at an often accused of being belt factories, that was Tiger Schulman's back in the day. And I was started there when they were switching from being Tiger Schulman's karate to being Tiger Schulman's MMA. Because at that time, they had Jimmy Rivera, Nick Pace, Lyman Good, Julio Arce, not Julio yet, but those 3 big guys were in MMA big prospects.
That's awesome.
3 of them are in the UFC.
I still love Jimmy.
3, yes, Jimmy was the number 3 ranked guy in the UFC at one point, and he's fighting this weekend. And Lyman Good was a Bellator champ. That was huge. Both those guys were huge. So, like, that was what inspired me. I got into like boxing and wrestling, and that's when I first, like, won my first tournament. So it was like the first taste of, like, success really that I'd had and something external that I tried. Because I played other sports, wasn't bad, it wasn't good really, just kind of like, but it didn't really click.
Competition and success.
Yeah.
Are fucking nice.
And then do you remember the presidential physical fitness test? Now they have the pacer test. I don't know what that is.
I was gonna say, was kids always talk to me. Mile run and touching your toes and shit.
Yeah, it was like,
or it was a dead arm hang and shit.
It was a mile run. So there's different levels, right? Because you got participation, which is like if you scored the lowest and everything, like you got a yellow badge for participation.
You showed up and you didn't die.
Yeah, you didn't die. Yeah. Okay. You got red was national. That was the red badge. That was like if you were like middle-ish average of everything. Okay. And blue is presidential, like you got the special not handwritten, but you got
the fucking
hand printed certificate like for physical fitness test, and that was like scoring high and everything. So I always either gotten participatory when I was like in 5th and 6th grade, or 5th grade and 6th and 7th I got national, and like 8th grade I wanted to get this final last one because I was starting to feel like me coming to my body a little bit. And then I don't know I remember how. So for like, you know, I was going to grappling class or kickboxing class or whatever, you do like the strength training you're doing there is like almost like any kind of
general calisthenics,
like push-ups, sit-ups, that kind of stuff. So I was just going ham doing push-ups, and I had this this is funny, I think this is hilarious and random, but I was playing guitar at that time too, electric guitar, and I had this amp, and I'm like, what do you think of when you think of lifting weights? You just think of doing curls if you're a kid. So I just did curls and like this pyramid style set. I just made up the same way we used to do them in push-ups. We used to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, split with stuff. And like out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, but like just because first time doing it, like my biceps got disproportionately big for my body. Because I was a stick. I was like 90, 80 pounds or something like that. But then I got biceps for no reason other than I was just doing curls. And so the only thing I sucked at, not the only thing, a couple things I sucked at for the fitness test was pull-ups. But after doing that, like the one summer, I went from like 1 or 2 pull-ups to like 14 pull-ups. And everyone was super impressed. I was like, oh, this feels nice.
As far as functionality goes and physique, I would say triceps are more important than biceps. But you're talking about fucking grappling, so the clinch and pull-up. Shit works out.
I would do this. I had a medicine ball that I would do like overhead press, wood chop stuff. Just like I would just look stuff up. But
this is young before there's goals. So you're talking about GPT.
This is 6th, 7th,
general physical preparedness.
Exactly.
Just fitness / fun / sports, just running around.
Yeah.
So no structure and no goal.
No structure. It was.
That's where your fitness started.
Yeah. So then I went to high school. I was going to high school. Wanted to play football again. 90 pounds. Stick 90 pounds, 5'4". Good luck. You know, prep school that has 20-year-old PGs playing at sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta be a bad motherfucker to be a bad guy. But They exist. There's mutants out there.
There are mutants out there. So I started doing workouts, again, no structure during the summer, but was just doing what I knew, like dips, push-ups, running, sprinting, stuff like that. All really good things.
I was going to say, it works for
I think I got to like 98 pounds, which was a big deal, 98 pounds. And it was after that football season where I got just presented to the next level of human beings, you know? Because they were like 230, 240 pound guys on the same team as 95 pound me, you know, like, and they make it, you feel that. You feel that when they plow into you, you're holding the fucking pad on special teams on a run. So after that, like, I still really wanted to play. Like, I was very, very motivated to play. Like, it was something I wanted to do. I was clearly not good at it, but I would clearly it was one of those things that, like, I want to stay with it no matter what, because I really want to start and stuff like that. So my two of my friends who were playing football at the time, one of my friends' dad's friend was played in the NFL during the strikes, during the so a scab, quote unquote, kind of like Keanu Reeves, right?
Shane, number one in your hands.
Oh my god, that's great! What a great movie. The Replacements,
so good,
classic.
Keanu Reeves, good every time.
Every time. But so yeah, he played in the NFL and was kind of looking back, not the best strength coach, but like was good, definitely good enough for what we needed at the time. And we only trained with him for about like a half or semester essentially. But I got what he was good at more was like doing football specific stuff. So I learned a lot of like footwork drills, sprint and stuff like that. The weight stuff was kind of like old school mentality, which makes sense considering his experience. But then after I stopped working out with him, I started I never ran track officially. I just trained with the track team for like 1 or 2 years, just to do the sprints and stuff. Some of the players would do that. And I started getting into the bodybuilding.com. That's where I went first. And then Teen Nation and bodybuilding.com are the first two spots you go to when back in 2008.
Not the best, not the worst, but certainly not the best.
A lot of information.
It's definitely the gateway.
Yeah, and there was some, and depending who's writing the article, there's some great people writing for that.
Oh, dude, you got Paul Carter, Thibodeau, used to be Paul Quinn. I mean, there's the good and the bad and the ugly.
Yeah, so I started trying different routines, and I started with your cookie cutter, 3x10 on this, 3x10 on this. Jay Cutler does it, so bodybuilder Jay Cutler,
right? That Jay Cutler.
Ronnie Coleman, yeah, right. Ronnie Coleman does this. I'm like, oh, I don't understand how steroids work yet. But this looks important. Like,
Ronnie Coleman's back day, and
so like I went, exactly, 10 sets of 20, 10 sets of 8 for 190,
right on the
single arm pull down. Yeah. So that's when I started getting into like watching lifters and bodybuilders and stuff like that, because at that time my priority was, for me, for a lot of reasons, I need to get bigger. Like that was the number one thing, because like even I can be as skilled as possible, and size will still be a factor in football, not necessarily for MMA. So I was kind of like during football season, I was all football, and then I would go back to grappling for a little bit during the other seasons. I think we went from 95 pounds freshman year, and then I was like at like 120 sophomore year. Then we got to like 145 junior year, and then I hurt my ankle, like tore a tendon in my ankle senior year, and which is great. Well, not that was great, but senior year I like earned a spot starting, which really meant a lot to me. Like, because I remember telling my coach when I was like a sophomore or junior, like, hey, like, because I was clear, like, when I told them this, like, they weren't expecting it from me.
Dude, that's a big fucking deal.
Like, I told them, like, I want to, after practice, like, I want to start. Like, I want to start. I don't even remember doing that, but I remember, like, having the need to tell them, like, I want to play. Like, I know that what I look like is not something you think of at play. There's way better people on this team, but, like, I want to play.
Dude, speak up.
Like, I'm not fucking, Nick Williams or the superstars that were on our team that were, like, crushing it. I'm not going to go play D1, but I want to fucking play.
Let's go.
Because freshman, sophomore year, I had that fucking, my coach used to say deer in headlights look, because I was not necessarily afraid to get hit, but I was afraid to fail more than anything like that. Because I knew that, like, a kid who's athletic and has a chance is going to have way more leeway to get reps than me.
Sure.
Like, like if you're the skinny, scrawny kid, you get one shot. And
it's a good point. You get knocked out, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, what value do you have? there's not really potential, right? You got to have, like, show something.
Out somehow, yeah. But, dude, to your point, making a team or making a starting team that's like a shit you never forget type of
thing.
Yeah,
I won like the coaches award and the sports banquet for like senior year. That meant a lot to me. I still have that award too.
Shit.
But yeah, so that meant a lot because I had success in MMA, but like football was a little bit different, because it's a team sport. It's more recognized too at the time.
Team sport and no weight classes.
So I didn't, and actually between like freshman and like senior year, I really was focused more on lifting and then football than anything. So my grappling, kickboxing took a back seat. I would do that kind of sporadically and consistently until after. So I injured myself senior year, and then so I sat out. I think I missed like half the games, maybe. So I finally was able to heal, start working again. I had lost a ton of weight, so I was down to like 135, 133 at this point. It's coming into the wintertime. Started lifting again. And like the first thing I can remember following that was structured, to the original question, like the first formal structured workout routine that I ever started was dog crap training, which you've heard of Dante Trudell, famous on old bodybuilding message boards. And essentially it's a really unique split too, and it's essentially most of the exercises are all rest pause, and he has some like very specific details. I'm not gonna go into all the details of it, but essentially, like for bench, for example, I'm gonna go to something like 85% of my 1 rep max, do as many reps as I can, take a rest pause. So that's how I used to measure it, was just 10 or 11 deep breaths. By breaths, not seconds.
So a full rest would be 1 to 5 minutes, let's say.
Yeah.
So you're keeping it less than 30 seconds rest, 15 seconds rest to get 10 deep breaths, not fully recovered, and then go again as many as possible?
Yep, as many as possible.
So we're not even going for a targeted number. We're going for failure and 1 rest pause.
Failure and 2 rest pauses.
2 rest pauses.
2 rest pauses. So the set would look something like 8, 5 or 4, and then 2 or 3 or something.
So if I could nerd out for a moment, the difference between like a cluster set would be you're going for a targeted number of reps.
Yes,
Let's say you take your 5 rep max on the bar, do 3 mini rest, 3 mini rest, 3. Now you got 9 reps at your 5 rest max because you did mini rests.
Exactly.
Cluster sets.
Yeah.
Rest pause is, let's not worry about the rest. Let's worry about the weight, 85% of your 1 rep max, which you've already calculated. Go to failure, racket, mini rest, 10 deep breaths.
Back on.
Many's failure again. I don't care how many you got. You record it later to see your progress, but it doesn't matter that I got 3 and then double rest set and get 2.
So the reason I think I found a lot of success. I told you I was like 135, 133 when I started lifting again and come back from winter. Got up to like 172 in about 3 to 4 months. Like I went up very, very quick. That's when I really was consistent with eating, and that's when like. Surprise, surprise. That's another reason I got into nutrition, because from like that moment I realized like, oh, everybody in school is trying to get big, and like me, I wasn't the biggest kid, but me and one other kid, probably I'd say in my grade, are the 2 kids that had the biggest transformation. Because like stick me to like even 135 pound me to 172 is big on my frame.
Oh yeah.
And I was looking at it, and my weights were going up. One of my friends, Julian Plummer, he was a stick kid too, and he did the exact same thing. Like people would ask us like, yo, can you show me how to do this stuff? I'm like, you just got to eat, man. Just got to eat. Like Julian would carry like 8 bananas with him throughout the day and just go on bananas. And same, he'd sit there and same as me, just eat like 2 chicken breasts, a whole thing of rice from the cafeteria whenever you could. I was tracking just calories at that point, just like 3,000. But before that, I had been doing like hypertrophy bodybuilder type stuff. And this was simpler in the sense that I'm sticking with one weight. I'm only doing 1 set. It was only 1 set. So I'm not...
Yeah, warm up to it, and that's it.
Warm up to it.
Go
so bench...
Rest, pause, rest, pause, rest, pause.
So I do like an upper body day and a lower body day, and it would just be like an A, B day. It was weird. It was A1, B1, then A2, B2, A3, B3. So it would be like taking like a 2.5 week split, 3 week split, forget all the workouts in, just some variety, and then come back to the start.
There's either a deload and
exactly, yeah. So that's the first time I got structure, and that's when I started to see massive results. I ended up going from 172 to like 150 again, because I started getting back in MMA, and I was big, and it was clear that I was inhibiting my ability to perform, especially now that weight classes matter. And actually from that point on, I only ever got to 170 maybe 2 more times, because...
I remember one time. Close?
No, it was never close around here. It was only like in high school... Or in high school, college,
What are you weighing right now, for reference?
Me, I'm like 145 right now.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm
very
way
light.
off. I thought you were like 160, 150.
Yeah, I mean, I look a little. People say I look a little bit bigger than I actually. The way I carry, it's just like a. I guess because my shoulders are a little bit broader.
Sure.
But anyway,
I was off. Yeah.
All
kinds of gains.
All kinds of gains. So and after that, like, I would get like the urge to like, it's really nice to be big again, because like the feeling I got when when you're in high school and people are paying attention to you after no one pays attention to you, like, that's nice for one, and then also just like me being impressed with my ability to do something that's very difficult for like 99% of the world to do is another like that's like more confidence building to some kid who was not very confident.
It's all about confidence.
But then I put like that to the side. I was like, I'm making my focus, because getting bigger is not necessarily going to help me with MMA. It will to a certain point. Getting stronger is going to matter more.
Sure.
So in college,
speed, strength, technique versus
in college,
you need some size.
Yeah, in college, after I started working for a gym, when I got my first training job, like my senior year, I was working the front desk. Then I became like a trainer. I was just doing like small group stuff for like Mike Boyle, kind of his franchise thing.
Nice.
Up in Penn State. So I learned some good stuff from there, because he's mainly works with athletes. He has a unique philosophy than traditionally in terms of strength and conditioning, but I liked it. So I started training more like an athlete for that, and wasn't really worrying about being big, although like I'd get the urge like, if I was only 170 and could do that, but then that creeps back in your head, but like, why is that? Why do I want that goal versus why I want this goal?
Exactly. That's what I was just going to get to. That's the constant cycle of your fat and slow when you feel big, and then you're weak and skinny when you feel lean.
Exactly, yeah.
And then that's where the mental and everything else comes in. But even more than that is what you said, why?
Yeah,
it's not worried about other people's opinions or my temporary emotions that come and go like clouds.
Yeah.
Let's say, what is my actual goal? Stick to the fucking plan.
Yeah, and so like I think I was telling you before, like I'd never really done, I think I've maybe done 4 phases, not phases, but 4 like periods of hypertrophy.
Sure.
Ever. Because I don't like it that much, honestly. Like, because I like training like an athlete, and that's kind of what my program is going to switch to now. We'll go over like what we're doing now and stuff like that. But yeah, since then, that first dog crap routine that got me introduced to strength and how important that is for someone with my body type, like the hard gainer type. Everybody thinks hypertrophy because you think muscle size, but it's really go strength primary. You're not going to get big if you can't lift heavy weights. That's just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, strength is always not. It's
they go together.
Mobility, stability,
strength,
technique. I would say technique, and then so neuromuscular patterning, and then strength.
Yep.
Before any performance goal, which could be hypertrophy,
power,
speed, anything like that.
And then so I've done a couple hypertrophy splits. Most it's I've done like a little bit of powerlifting. I wouldn't say like quasi powerlifting, not formal powerlifting, because I was never competed, so I never had to have like stuff that's structured.
1 to 3 rep strength.
Oh yeah. Like now I was doing a lot when I was before my surgery in like the winter time for like 3 or 4 months. And then I've just kind of made my own workouts. I've done a bunch of different stuff too for like, again, like performance training. So like my strength stuff for a long time, probably for like 70% of my lifting career has been geared towards performance. So there'd be times when I would be doing like heavy weights, but I was never really doing anything hypertrophy based. And I was doing a lot of calisthenics, a lot of sprints, a lot of ladder work, a lot of jump, skip, and rope, a lot of just shadow boxing, a lot of power stuff. I got really into explosiveness because I'm not sure Usain Bolt, but I'm also not a long distance guy. I'd probably lean more towards faster twitch than I do slow twitch.
Sure.
So I like that kind of stuff too. Like the more explosive stuff. That's why fucking sports I came into, football, fighing,
Yep.
But not just
makes
watching,
sense,
but doing.
It's fun, so it's sustainable, but it goes towards your goals.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense.
If
you don't want to do only things you hate or only things you love, you pick the goal, and then you kind of work backwards. How could I fit in the most sustainable shit that I like, balanced with getting to my goals?
Yeah.
So the reciprocal of that, when you're a trainer, coach, whatever, when they tell you your goals, you don't give them all your favorite shit, and you also don't ignore what they want. You tell them what they want, and you give them what they need.
Exactly, yeah.
So there's funsies along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're going to your goals no matter what. Whether you think it's fucking treadmill and salad and burpees. All right, you like burpees, we'll lift, and then we'll do them after.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, for a long time, like for a while, I never did any kind of barbell benching. I was doing a lot of dumbbell benching stuff, and a lot of like stability, like various push-up stability variations, like alternating dumbbell presses, some crush grip stuff, like stuff that's going to make more sense if I'm in a grappling situation, right? Because you're rarely like, if you're doing this when any kind of fighting, like it's not a good deal. You're either in tight or you're in tight, like whether you're boxing, whether you're grappling too. So like I always, the stuff that I would like look at and see, like, does this make sense? Does this going to translate? Like how's this going to? Because
sure,
we talk about specificity. For a sport as dynamic as like MMA or grappling and fighting, which is why I really wanted to pursue, like it's hard to find anything like super specific that's super effective, because I've had like one kid ask me like, well, won't like doing punches with weights make your punch strong? I'm like, nah, not particularly. I mean, it can help some things, but it's not going to help your power. I don't.
No,
you're not all really. But
not. If anything, it throw you off.
If anything, throw you off because you're not.
To your point, it's get better in the primal human movement patterns: push, pull, hinge, and squat. And carry, let's say, with the prerequisite mobility, stability, technique, build strength, and then drill technique separately, no matter what your sport is. Not just martial arts.
That's what I liked about some of the stuff I do disagree with now, but a lot of stuff I liked from Mike Boyle was, for me, related to me, the way he would train, like a lot of single leg stuff, which is fighting is almost all, like you'll be
every sport, you're on 1 foot, bro. Every layup, every tackle, everything.
If you're running back, you're in 2-point stance for a second before the snap, and that's about it.
When you're in motion and athletics, you're on 1 foot.
So I'd never seen that before. Like I never heard, because I always looked at bodybuilding stuff and like how to get big from the magazines and the articles, which are all clickbaity anyway on the internet. But this was like my first experience listening to some sort of strength and conditioning coach. But that's when I got introduced to carries, weighted carries, sleds, and stuff like that, using medicine balls, different plyo, different jump patterns, different footwork patterns, cleans. I got into just doing hand cleans for power front squats because the loading pattern is a little bit more similar to like a takedown than a back squat is, and like I say, a crush grip bench and more stability stuff like that. Turkish get-ups, a lot of kettlebell stuff. That's when I got into really big into kettlebells.
Also makes sense. So how does that translate to now, as far as now that you have all this experience, setting goals going forward?
So what I'm doing now, what I'm about to do right now, I'm just kind of in the maintenance phase until I get some more job stuff locked down, and I got doing some renovations to the apartment and stuff like that. So
let's address that, because you got home stuff going on with the apartment, you got business stuff going on, freelance entrepreneurship, this show, all kinds of shit. So it's not that you're not lifting, doing yoga, eating right. It's you don't have a grand goal that's in the forefront for fitness. Fitness is now on a maintenance, as you said, so we're going to be healthy and keep our mental and physical
I already teach yoga twice a week, and so I'm doing this live stream too. Like I have them doing the entire class each time, and plus I'm doing days in between where I'm working on that, so I'm doing yoga like 4 times a week.
My point is we're taking priorities, so no one can say, I don't have time.
Just, again, like it's where my attention is focused more. Great book by Greg McCone. I'm not going to say his last name wrong. Essentialism. And just pointing out how we're so accustomed to like saying, what are your top priorities? Priority means one.
I was going to say
singular.
Me again.
Because it's so easy. So that's not a priority if you have 10 of them, right? Anymore. So you have to pick one. So right now I know what my priority is. That doesn't mean, like you said, I let everything else slide. No. But now I have enough experience, enough knowledge that I can put things on a maintenance level. And they kind of go automatically because it's kind of a routine.
If you fucking just had a newborn baby, or you're in med school, you don't train 6 days a week. You train 2, but you also don't train 0.
Exactly. Yeah, you just adjust.
Then you adjust.
Yeah.
You don't. I don't have time. You have a different priority currently. So different goals and different time management strategies.
Yeah. So for right now. Just to go through real quick, I'm doing 2 because I have some shoulder stuff.
I'm also rehabbing. Maintenance for current.
Yeah,
maintenance current. We'll talk about future.
So right now I'm working on fixing like a little wing scapula on my right shoulder.
Okay.
So I'm doing 2 lower body days of strength, 1 upper body day, and I'm doing a lot of rehab every day, just like just small movements to correct the patterns, mobility.
2 strength days, 7 rehab days.
3 strength days.
3 strength days. And then 7 rehab days.
And then 2 yoga days.
2 yoga days.
So that's what I'm doing right now.
Love it.
What I'm doing in the future is essentially I want to get back to like what I said. I feel more inspired to do what I enjoy doing is training like an athlete. I just don't have any specific thing I'm training for, so I'm just going to make it up in my head.
I was going to say, you make something up, which is awesome.
And I probably will at some point want to just compete again, just do like a Naga tournament or a grappling tournament just for fun, you know? And I might even want to do, like, I have a bunch of stuff I'd like to do, like in terms of like run a half marathon, do a powerlifting competition, grapple, stuff like that.
But that's the difference between dreams and likes and wants and actual goals, desires, and aspirations.
Yeah, I know I can achieve all those things. I'm going to once, you know, I can get back to this.
Conditions.
Yeah. So right now I'm training like an athlete, so I'm going to I'm actually going to start working on, we talked about this too, the obstacles, the way. My biggest weaknesses every time, at any point in any athletic career, have been flexibility and conditioning. So that's where I'm going to focus most of my attention now.
Damn it, me too. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I already do yoga, which has made a massive difference, but now I'm going to be doing specific flexibility training for specific muscles and movement patterns specifically for yoga. Doing that every single day.
Yeah, lifting heavy, lifting for a pump or explosive training is fun and easy. Mobility and endurance, I mean, those are the toolboxes that you have as a trainer.
Yep.
Mobility / stability, strength, explosiveness / plyo, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Endurance, and then flexibility shit.
Flexibility. That's so flexibility I'm working on, and then conditioning too, something I've always kind of pushed off because it's easy mentally for me too, because like, I'm a skinny guy naturally. I need to get big, so I can't do too much cardio, which is not wrong.
Right.
You know?
But that's where I would recommend conditioning with a resistance element to it. So like you said, your kettlebell swings, your sled pushes.
Yeah, when I say conditioning, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to be doing any
farmers carries and shit.
Not right now. I'm not doing any kind of like endurance running or endurance swimming or anything like that. All going to be kind of short bursts, I wouldn't say high intensity, but yeah, like more grindy kind of cardio, you know.
But like I was saying before, where your weaknesses are is where you're going to get the biggest ROI, the biggest return on your investment. Yeah. Like I was saying with meditation, if it's hard for you because there's a lot of pinball machines going off and a lot of monkeys jumping on the bed, that's for you. You need it more then. Therefore, the more obstacles, the more adversity.
So you're saying if I can't touch my toes, I should focus on...
You should just quit and fucking cut your toes off?
Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. That's just not for me, touch my toes.
So if you're sitting there and you're trying to focus on one thing and breathe through your nose and meditate, and there's a lot of different random thoughts going on, that's what you need to work on.
Yeah,
that's a fucking good thing. You found gold there. There's going to be a bigger win because there's a bigger obstacle. So it's the same thing if you're a skinny guy trying to build muscle or a fat guy or girl trying to lose weight. There's bigger wins there.
Yeah.
Because there's more fear, there's more learning curve, there's more adversity. So that's where the challenge is. That's where you got to go. That's where the fucking gold is. That's where the work is. Go for it.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek.
Boom.
Joseph Campbell. But if I had to put it in like a summation, because I know I'm taking a lot of time here, but training, like if I was trained to be a superhero essentially, so like my strength stuff is going to be focused a lot on calisthenic stuff. I'll do like one heavy day, I think, but everything else would be calisthenic, flexibility, and then getting back cardio wise too for conditioning, getting back to like working the bag. Just I like hitting the bag, it feels so good, and I just haven't done
cardio ever.
And then doing some explosive stuff. So like if I was to be a superhero and I don't have superpowers, those are the kind of things I need to do.
Well, I would say you do have superpowers, but for physical training...
Physical superpowers, yeah.
Right, but for physical training, that's what it is.
Training like a warrior, essentially, you know?
Yeah, no, I love that.
So I got my yoga, I got my yin. So
you're still keeping the 3 yoga days.
Yeah. So I'm doing 2 strength days. Calisthenic stuff every day, more technique drilling and stuff like that. So I'm not fatiguing.
Yep.
Cardio twice, and then yoga 3 times. So doing a lot of stuff.
So it's a full athletic program.
It's a full program.
And then the yoga keeps you supple.
Yeah, because now, again, like I think I mentioned last time, I don't know if it was on camera or not, but my sleep schedule has been adjusted to because I've been doing a lot of work, like off hours when I should be sleeping. So now I'm pretty set with my 4 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, I've been fucking working around the clock.
So it's like, I'll make to my routine, but it just fucks you up even more. So I'm trying to make that that's my initial boundary. Like, this is the time I have to get work done in between these times.
But that's it. You plan ahead.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't have time. There's 24 hours. How do I fit in all my shit?
And then honoring when I say, like, this is when I wake up, this is when I go to bed, because it's easy to be like, you know what, I do need to get some more work done. I'll stay up a little bit later, and then I'm tired in the morning. I'm like, I can sleep in a little bit, but then I just fucked my.
But that's discipline, though.
Yeah.
And you love yourself. So you know how people say, don't work out because you hate yourself. Work out because you love yourself. Well, you hate your old self. The self isn't static. Remember Jordan Peterson was telling Russell Brand, there's many ascensions and dips and resurrections and through your life, and the self is the thing that goes through all those transformations, right? So you hate your old self. So that's where we're talking about fear and hate sparks motivation to start change, but you love your new self and the potential of your true higher self. That's the inspiration to keep you going.
That keeps you constant.
Does that make sense? So it's okay to fucking hate in the beginning, and then you find your why and your purpose and inspiration to keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I'm going.
Beautiful.
Yeah. How about you?
Beautiful. So for me, the whole life has always been it was sports in the beginning, football mostly, but played football, basketball, baseball, and then eventually quit basketball because I wasn't a good shooter anyway, and we didn't like the coach. But football coach didn't let us just sit around and fucking, I was going to say play video games, but his words were eat bonbons on the couch and watch reruns of Bonanza. So fucking he made us join do wrestling, right? So that's the hardest fucking conditioning there is. Makes football practice look like a fucking picnic.
Yeah.
I've done 3-a-days in the summer in full pads in football. And it was tough, whatever.
Wrestling
will fuck you up.
It's a different thing.
Okay? Yeah. The most respect for wrestlers, combat sports fighters in general.
Yeah.
Military training, combat sports training. Then you get to maybe football. Maybe. Olympic athletes, I'm sure, train really hard. But everything else is fucking is secondary. So after football... long story short, let's fast forward through all the crybaby shit. Next thing you know, I'm 315 pounds, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, drinking alcohol 7 or 8 times a week, so every night and then all day on the weekends.
Nice.
Anything that wasn't nailed down, I would eat it, fucking snort it, smoke it, fucking do whatever. And next thing you know, you're suicidal, you're depressed, you're addicted, fat, depressed, diabetes, the whole thing. So first goal was always just, I don't want to fucking die, so I might as well lose some weight. Just to do the abbreviated fucking version of the story. So when you're 320 pounds, I got down all the way to 100. The highest I ever saw myself on a scale was 315. Lowest I ever saw myself on a scale was 184. So I get all the way down to 184. Yeah, I was like skinny and pretty at that point, not even too shredded. The most, I like being like 205, 210. So now, just for reference, my body settles. I haven't stepped on a scale in over a year, but my body settles around 225. So when I'm like 230,
fighting like heavyweight, huh?
Yeah. When I'm like 230-ish, I'm a fucking house.
Yeah.
And I look intimidating with a shirt on, but not only am I fat and sloppy, but I'm like wheezing going up the stairs and walking the dog and shit. And then when I get down to last time I saw myself on a scale lean, I was 208, and I was pretty gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I'd say 205, I'm beautiful. 215 is where I should be, but if I'm not calculating, my body settles around the chubby 220, 225.
Chubby 225.
So hopefully that made some sense. But anyway,
that's funny. You settle up in weight, I settle down in weight, which is how that works.
And so I get all the way down to 184, and at that time I'm playing basketball 3 times a week, lifting 4 times a week, and it was all just trying to stay lean. Then working as a trainer. And then, so the goals there, like I said, it was just lose fat. But then I realized there's a mental component to things. And then it was reading spiritual texts, reading about Buddhism, reading about this, that, the other thing. And then I would meditate and do yoga every morning and every night and listen to audiobooks and podcasts all day. And then, like I said, 4 days of lifting. For years and years and years, I used to do shoulders with legs and chest with back, because it just worked perfectly with my basketball Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So you fit everything around everything. So then Monday, Wednesday, Saturday I would lift. So it was all about just being lean. Then, like I said, I get into the mental stuff. And only in the past less than 12 months have I dove into emotional and spiritual stuff to be holistically healthy.
With all 4 layers.
That's what health means, to feel whole and complete. So you can't have that if you're fucking shredded and mentally ill, or fucking spiritually perfect, but your fucking physical health sucks.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
Everything's connected.
Yeah, sure is. So getting leaner and leaner and leaner, and then getting wiser and wiser and wiser. Then when I became a trainer, quit my job as a construction type of guy, became a trainer. Now I got to work nights, so I can't go to the basketball league. Then I start lifting heavier, and next thing you know, I'm up to, like I said, 225, 230.
Versus heavier versus like 3x10s too you're doing? Or?
Yeah, so great question. So everything before was, say, like 10 to 15 reps.
Really?
Always.
Interesting.
Heavy, and I would do partials and other shit, maybe some 5s I barely remember, but I never did 1 to 3 reps.
Like that specifically in that range, yeah. Very different.
Until I became a trainer, and honestly, when I met Ivan and like got into powerlifting a little bit. Not that I got into it, I never competed, but lifting heavy doubles, singles, and triples, and having that type of split. So that gained a lot of muscle, and then I would go on traditional, and I still kind of do like bulk and cut cycles, whereas I'm just starting it now. I don't know where I want to start the story. So basically, let's say after the Super Bowl, I start like slowly cutting February, March. So by April, I'm running downhill, and by May, I'm shredded.
Yeah.
Then I kind of maintenance body recomp
for summertime.
For summer. So basically, what that means is I stay in a deficit, and I have 1 to 2 cheat meals a week.
Okay.
Bump it up. So you could party on the weekend, maybe eat some fucking pizza on a Wednesday night or something, but the other 5-6 days a week are strict still.
Yeah.
And that keeps me lean until September. Football starts again, and your fall comes out, the boots come out, the flannels, the fucking beers.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching football, eating wings and shit. So still eating healthy, just calculating less, because I was on just 6 to 8 months of calculating strict.
Yeah.
And then we'll call it a winter bulk, where I'm really pushing the sets and reps a little more, and eating more. So then that slows down, like I said, after Super Bowl. And goes back into the spring cut for the summer leanness. So where I'm at split-wise for a long time is doing chest with arms on Monday, legs on Tuesday, back on Wednesday, legs again on Thursday.
Double legs.
And shoulders with arms on Friday. I did that for many, many years while I was a trainer. Different sets and reps and learning all different things, but having the weekend off, I went 5 days in a row, which isn't recommended, but the point is I had my life schedule there, and I fit my fitness around it. The same thing I was saying with basketball and my other job and stuff like that. So now currently, just to speed through, because then we'll circle back and talk about, I can't believe I said circle back. We'll come back and fucking talk about goals, because that was supposed to be the moral of this episode. So currently, I'm going into my weaknesses like we talked about before. So I'm going to keep the Monday, Wednesday, Friday lifting. And instead of the full body part split, I'm kind of going with like a push-pull situation, or like a push-pull legs situation, which hurts my scientific brain because I'm only hitting every muscle once a week instead of twice a week now. But that's what you said, putting your strengths on the back burner and putting your weaknesses as your priority when you're making goals. Therefore, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, I'm going to do stretching plus mobility work plus yoga. And yes, those 3 things are different. Most people think yoga is stretching, mobility work is stretching. I'm talking soft tissue work and mobility range of motion. So let's define this real quick. Flexibility is the length of a muscle, whereas mobility is the full range of the joint.
So joint versus muscle, big difference there.
And yoga is its own spiritual practice in and of itself that has physical component to it. And basically, I'm going to be doing that 3 days a week because, like I was saying, I used to do it twice a day, every day, just getting into it, not knowing what I was doing. And there was a balance of yoga, meditation, basketball as cardio, and lifting each body part twice a week. Then I couldn't do that because I'm busier as a trainer instead of having a 9 to 5. But now the weakness, like you said, is conditioning and flexibility. So to continue my spiritual practice and to get more into yoga, I got 3 days of yoga where the strength and hypertrophy go on the back burner, and they're just 3 days a week. And then eventually in the spring, as my cut continues, we'll bring in the athletic movements and the conditioning. And therefore, I'm working on my weaknesses, putting my strengths on the back burner, and then we're going to see how we look and feel. So the only thing that we didn't mention is the why, which could be the most important, and the specific measurable fucking what we're trying to do. Because we both named just general shit because we've been doing this for so long. Whereas we would not structure it like that if we were to work with a client.
Program for somebody else.
Program for somebody else, which is the next 4 episodes we're going to do is a case study, a hypothetical case study, essentially, of what you would do if you're a skinny guy or girl trying to gain muscle, a fat guy or girl trying to lose fat but keep muscle, like a mental performance, a sports physical performance, and then just like a health.
Yeah.
So the next couple of weeks, instead of us generally rambling about personal stories, will be a hypothetical scenario of goals, desires, dreams, aspirations, adversities, obstacles, and then which is the point B where they want to go, and then the point A, the assessment of where they are, and we'll talk about how we would structure their program.
Yep.
Because right now we didn't say why we're doing what we're doing too much.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we didn't say like what our specific goals are.
Yeah.
Because when people come to you without specific, you can't achieve a goal that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I would say, just to finish what I was saying, because I kind of said it, but let me summarize. I think I'm good on size currently. I'm going to let the diet take care of the leanness, because that's what I really want to work on. But then the actual why of the goal is flexibility, mobility, to get rid of back and hip pain and get myself into better positions, and then dive more into yoga so I can help more people. So like I said, that helps me on my emotional, spiritual path along with physical.
Yeah.
So once again, everything is connected, and I'm fitting it all in. Because what I used to do is the mental was taken care of with the physical, because that was my therapy of overdosing on stimulants, blasting gangster rap and death metal, and fucking taking it all out on the weights.
Yeah.
And that totally worked. But if you zoom out and think about that from like a Ayurvedic or a Chinese element thing, I was just all fire type, and I was throwing gas on the fire.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to meditate and do yoga more, and it's really dousing my fire, but I think I have naturally a lot of fire. So hopefully that brings me to a balanced homeostasis.
Yeah.
Where like you're in touch with a lot of yin shit.
Yeah.
Like you would say you're probably more of a water type or an air type. We'll do a test on that.
Water energy.
We'll figure that out. But clearly I'm fire. But point being is, if you want to do more explosive stuff in MMA, that's going to give you some fire to balance you out. The same way I need yoga and meditation, or else I'm just going to fucking rip people's heads off and punch holes in the wall all day, and that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Find a balance, because it's easy to do what you love. It's and you think you don't like what you don't like, or what you're not good at, rather, but it'll make what you do like even better for one.
Even better, and it doesn't matter what you like or don't like. The goal is the real prize.
Exactly, yeah.
And not even the goal is the real prize. Who you become along the journey.
Yeah, what you learn about because it's a different type of stimulus creates a different type of response, right? One rep max for training for a powerlifting competition is very different than going out and trying to run for a half marathon versus, a body composition goal where you're more focused potentially on eating and.
But that's the metaphor for life, is just learning lessons and having fun experiences and learning more lessons and being challenged by new things.
And before, I was very attached to my outcomes and my goals, which a lot of people we work with are very attached to.
That's what I was trying to get to.
I want to be skinny, versus I want to do the things that a skinny person does, right? I want to be the type of person that can pick a goal and be disciplined enough to get there. So if I'm that kind of person, it doesn't matter what the goal is,
That's
right?
different than looking a certain way and being a certain way.
Yeah, that's just the residual effect of what you do, right?
Be the change.
Be the change.
That's it. We'll see you next time. Peace.